All right, last thing we're going to learn in chapter 1 is percent problems. So we're going to do the the first one for each of these for notes and see if we can find some equations. And then you'll be doing the rest for homework. So let's take a look at the first one. It says for the first part A is percent increase and decrease. So number 1 said a jacket originally costs $80 and it's now on sale for $60. What is the percent decrease? So, well, how much did it go down by, right? What we're looking for is how much did it go down by? So it went down $20. You see that? Now, when we talk about percent increase or decrease, it's always based on what you started with, the original price. So it went down, it went down $20. So $20 out of $80 is 1/4. And remember, 1/4 as a decimal is 0.25. And then remember, percent is out of 100. So boop, boop, that would be 25%. So it was a 25% decrease. And so in general, the formula is the increase or decrease, whatever that is. In this case, it was a decrease of 20. And then divided by the original, price. If you want to think of it times 100 to get the percent, you could, because that's what we had to do to convert our 0.25 to 25%. But this is on an equation sheet for you as well. Next, we have discount price and sale price. We're going to look at number 6. A backpack costs $75, but it's 20% off. What is the sale price? So, 20% off. There's a couple ways you can do this. We could, to figure out what is 20% of 75, we could do 75 times 0.20, which is the equivalent of 20%. And let's see, I've got my calculator right here. So give me a sec. There we go. So 75 times 0.2 is 15. So we're going to get $15 off. So we could do $75 minus $15, or $60 would be the sale price. But there's another way of doing this. And maybe some of you have learned this before. So instead, if it's 20% off, then it means it's 80% of the original price. Okay, so it's kind of like 100 minus 20. So if it's 20% off, it's going to be 80% of the original price. So we could do $75 times 80%. And let's see, $75 times 0.8, guess what? We get $60. So you can do it that way. You could do it either way. You can, find the percent and subtract, or you could subtract the percent from 100 and see what the original, or what percent of the original price you actually are paying. Next, for part C, let's look at number 11. Tax and final price. So it says you buy a sweater for $55 and there's 6.5% tax. Now remember that 6.5% is 0.065 as a percent. We go boop, boop, right? So 0.065 is the decimal equivalent to that of percent. And so what's the total cost? So we could do it $55 times 0.065 equals, and so it's 55 times 0.065. We're going to round that to $3.58, just two decimal places. So that means it's going to cost $55 plus $3.58 or $58.58. Oh, that's kind of cool. Will be the total price. Now, since it's an increase of 0.065%, we also could do it this way. We could take our 55 and we could multiply it by 1.065 because we want the whole thing, and it's kind of like plus the 6.5%. So that 1 is like the price plus the 6.5%. Let's do that in our calculator. 55 times 1.065. Guess what? We get 58.58. So just like in the last one, if you think about what percent of the whole, of the original, you can kind of do it in one step. We did this one in one step. Now we did this one in one step. And those are like some of the equations I give you on your note sheet. Finally, number 16, we're going to do that one. A store buys a product for $20 and marks it up 60%. So it's an increase of 60%. What is the selling price? Well, again, we could do it this way. We could do 20 times, now remember this is like 0.60, so times 0.60. So 20 times 0.6 is 1.2 or 120. And so 20 20 plus 120. Wait, that doesn't seem right. Oh, you know what? I knew that wasn't right. That's not enough. I accidentally did 2 times 0.6. I'm like, this is not right. It's got to be way more than $1.20. It's $12. Let's fix that. 20 times 0.6. Yes, that makes more sense. $12. 60% of 20 was, it's got to be more than half. All right, so 20 plus $12, $32 will be the selling price. But we could have done it like we did this one here. That is, it's an increase of 60%. So we could have just done 20 times 1.60. In other words, it's the whole thing plus 60% more. And so if we do that 20 times 1.6, guess what? We get $32. So if we think about subtracting a percent or adding a percent, you could really do these in one step.